can agree with the sentiment to not replace mid-series and give a rookie more chances, as Ever can bounce back, but they're going to need a lot more cohesion this time around if they choose to at least survive till 20 minutes.
Well, they are going to be on blue side this time around, so they do get an opportunity to get one of these big picks in the first rotation. We'll see if they decide to mix up what they ban at all. Going with the Talia again. Will it be Galio number 2? Yes, it will be. But I think BBQ can't really target Scepted as much in this game. Like, going for an Orianna ban here would be kind of risky, because then you get put in the same situation where it's you either give Ever8 Caitlyn or you give them Zac. So they're going to go ahead and ban Caitlyn right now.
Get rid of Kate right from the get-go, and now Ever can have the choice of, are we going to first pick Zac if we have it? I would hope they do so and leave that ban for BBQ to decide, as the remaining power picks aren't quite there.
Yeah, they're in a good spot to pick up Elise here from Malrong. We've seen what he can do on blue side Elise, and as I say that, they ban it. I was thinking, you know, go for some other kind of ban, maybe even like Renekton, you know, try to first pick the Elise because BBQ's forced into a Zac ban.
I think they'll first pick Lee now, though, as 2 jungle bans come out. Just get rid of the power pick junglers, have a more even playing ground with these champions. And Malrong has been having some decent Lee Sin games before with some great kicks. However, last game was not an indicament of how this team is going to play. I sure would hope so. And what will the first pick be? It's actually going to be Kalista, and I actually expect this to be the trend much more often as we continue going into series, especially as Rocks, Tigers, and them quoting the EULCS inspire them to pick up that champion. And now it seems like the rest of the world has been catching on.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible what you can do with the utility of Fate's Call. You can save your, your partner in crime, if you will. Also, you can engage quite well. You have a ton of mobility. It offers so much safety around objectives too. With the Rend, you can really secure Baron and Dragon pretty easily with that.
Well, I want to throw a bone at EU for innovation. They are responsible for the bottom lane that we know today of AD carry and support. Previously, Season 1, Season 2, you used to see mid lane be an AD carry, and it was them that were like, you know what, let's have some stability in the bottom lane, support and AD. And they've also brought out Tristana recently with Reckless, with the Kennen as well. Now they have the Kalista that the rest of the world seems to be agreeing upon. So they're missing a fair other champions in many other roles throughout the years, but the region has been known to be a primary innovator in the global scene of League of Legends, and now Korea has been taking another note from their page book. Page book, is that a word?
Page book?
A book of pages, of league pages.
Page from their book, I think. Something like that. Scepted will get his Orianna. And already you have a nice set of engages there. Fate's Call, Grand Entrance from Comeback. The quickness, of course. Scepted having some options for how he can engage.
But the time we saw that combination work was with Rocks, with Ki and Sangyun, and he was on point. I mean, this guy has a huge champion pool similar to Max, and the engages were definitely there, and the synergy between Duel and Comeback has to remain just pristine if they want to actually pull this off. We didn't have much to hope for with the Kalista Alistar last time around, so they need to have sharpened this combination in practice and scrims significantly more than the Alistar Kalista. At least Kalista is definitely what they have been preferring, as they have first rotationed it in both blue side and red. But the support, we just don't know yet.
Thresh going to be banned out. Going to deny that support. We have one more ban here for BBQ if they want to continue targeting Malrong. You still have Gragas available, but also Rek'Sai, the new favorite of 7-12 after the slight buffs that he got to the Void Rush, making that ultimate so much easier to hit, making its opponents be forced to flash away from it if they want to survive that damage.
I'm curious about the Rek'Sai ban. While Gragas remains, Malrong has actually not had a single game on that champion, so understandably so they leave it up. However, if he did practice it, it would make a lot of sense to take away perhaps a Renekton and Gragas combination, and all of a sudden you've got yourself a powerful, powerful draft on the side of Ever that could snowball out of control if they play their cards right.
Okay, they were thinking about, do we go for the mid lane or do we flex the Karma in? And it looks like this time Totoro will be picking up the Alistar, trying to show comeback how to play that pick.
Could it be a next level BM that we haven't even foreseen? Possibly so. However, the lane of Twitch Alistar is completely defensive. The all-in potential relies on the Kalista and Rakan making mistakes, and Renekton will be taking right back up. Absolutely, you got to go for it with this draft so far. And Gragas would make sense here, as he would be able to mitigate a lot of Alistar's engages, separate the fight, and more importantly, use your cask. When Twitch opens up, get him out of the fight. You can easily trade your explosive cask for the spray and pray and have huge impact in a team fight. And I like this draft from Ever, but execution was the issue last time around. So no matter how great their picks might be, it's going to be what they can bring to the Rift in terms of their mechanical and team ability.
Yeah. No more dives on the bottom side that lose you 3 members, please. That'll be a good start for them. Yeah, I'm sure Malrang's going to be pretty good on that Gragas. Any jungler that has come into LCK should know how to play that pick. And Vladimir.
Are you serious? Lucian, is he going to do this? No. Okay, see, this is the logical pick. Thank you.
Yeah, just a little bit of trolling, you know.
He's just telling him, you should have been playing Gnar. What are you doing? I'll show you how you deal with Renekton. So he takes out the Gnar himself. Full prehistory here, as Gnar has those caveman-like features, as well as...
He's even got a skin for it too, right? He like throws...
No, he just throws boomerangs naturally.
No, I was playing ARAM, I think it was, and I just randomly got this skin. Not 100% sure because it's in Korean again, but...
Hey, you speak Korean. You can't play that card.
Yeah, that's why I think it was prehistoric, but I don't know exactly. Let me actually search this.
I think that's prehistoric Renekton, by the way.
Hold on, I'm searching.
All right. Google away in the meantime. These compositions are pretty solid all around. BBQs will need to group up for them to start making any plays, as the crowd control comes from Alistar and Gnar, whereas Ever have much more tools in the individual, so they would have no problems getting advantages in lane and staying in the lane to start farming up some leads, whereas on the side of BBQ, not so much. And now we have Renekton on the hands of Keen. He saw what Crazy could do on him, but what about himself? He now understands a little bit more of how competitive LCK runs, the pressure game, and how his team is going to play around him. And maybe so, with Renekton in his hands, he might be able to have a much more impactful game than having Lucian top.
Yeah, Crazy looking to put on the hurt this time around with that Gnar. See if they can shut down Keen. Keen really looking to have a good performance and take the top spot, the top lane for his own above Helper. He's got a pretty good opportunity to do it this time around. So guys, the game is ready, loaded up. Let's jump onto the Rift for game number 2.
It's like a battle of the sexes.
Seems that way. We got a whole male cheering section for the side of Ever8 winners.
You know, that was a show back where I'm from in Venezuela, and you just have them do irrelevant contests, and then they would just argue with each other.
Battle of the Sexes?
Yeah.
I think that was in America, too.
It was.
I've heard of that show.
It was extra raunchy in South America.
Ah. Maybe you can show me some time crumbs.
Maybe.
Well, it wasn't a good show?
I didn't watch it that much.
Ah, I see. By the way, the skin I was thinking of was, I think, Dino Gnar.
Yeah, he literally has a Snuggie, like a onesie on.
Maybe that's not the one then. It must have been El Leon Gnar.
Oh, right, that one. Little lion.
Yeah.
Well,
it looked kind of prehistoric, I don't know. Nice little leash here from Malrang at the Raptors. Come back and duel. Trying to make things interesting here at the blue buff. Trying to force a flash.
Trying to force a smite,
Or,
too.
yeah, the smite, rather.
That should get Malrang ahead, and this is more like the Ever playbook that we're used to seeing them do. Have information on your jungler, allow Malrang to start getting some camp advantages, and have him be first to any gank or any camp. And if they can pull that off with the advantages that so far they have in pressure in this bottom side, this might translate into potential avenues for Malrang to gank and find some kills.
See, he's just heading over to his blue buff. See if he tries to make a play towards stop after that. Looks like he's going to go for the wolves first before clearing that out directly.
So he's just using that extra time to know that Kha'Zix is not going to be in a position to invade. Kha'Zix, a champion known to be able to go for those 1v1 skirmishes early on if the lane positions allow him to do so. And so far, top lane would indicate so, but not so much into the mid lane. But that advantage at least lets Gragas get past the early game and get to a couple of items, get to a couple of levels, which is exactly where he wants to be in dealing with these immobile champions such as Karma and Twitch.
A gigantic wave pushing into this bottom turret against that very defensive lane of Twitch and Alistar. Just trying to farm under turret as well as possible. You can see Keen just being pushed in by Crazy on the opposite side of the map.
Some dangerous trading there. At least he does not miss that cannon wave.
Sent a recall there from Bless, who is down a level now on Malrang, taking the Scuttle Crab.
Gotta say, looking at that trade, I'm a little worried about Keen's debut here. Maybe some nerves. You don't know exactly what is up, but that trade, the criticism for it came from the fact that it's a big minion wave, so he will trade a lot more damage. And Mininar is who you do not want to be trading if you're a tanky champion such as Renekton, as the hyper damage can stack up on you, and that percent HP is like a top.
Look at this flash on in. They really want to make it work on the Crazy. There's the flash body slam and first blood over to Malrang.
So, is he blind? There was a ward in the try.
Good question, Crumbs.
There was he saw him there. Right? Like, that's not a... We saw the ward, and he just... Okay. Well, you need eyes to play League of Legends.
Yeah, definitely a bit of a mistake. I think he just wasn't expecting that kind of a play. A commitment, perhaps, out of Ever8.
I hope somebody comes out and tweets at me, be like, you know what? I'm streaming myself playing League, and I'm blind. I only play with my other senses.
He just gets greedy going for the minions. I mean, something you cannot do. He just assumed that Malrang would complete the recall. And when you're going up against the Renekton Gragas, there's just so much CC you cannot stay near if the Gragas is anywhere near your lane.
Yeah, well, the kill went over to Malrang, so at least the Nara's laning phase will not be as hindered as it would have been otherwise. But double Ninja Tabis on the side of these two top lane tanks. And when you're dealing with Karma as your sole AP champion, it is a perfectly viable boot choice.
Yeah, not too much CC on the side of BBQ, except out of Nara, I suppose. We'll go for some big combos later on. We got a little play down in the bot lane. They're going to be knocking in comeback. Down goes the Ignite out of Totoro. Forced to flash his way out, but that's too much damage. The Ignite last tick will pick up the kill.
He's just dancing around. I don't think I've seen somebody get in melee range of Alistar with a minion wave coming in to get headbutted into it. So I don't know what's going on here today. Like, nothing makes sense.
And body slam to knock Bless back.
He's going to get collapsed on by Renekton. Look at Oriana's on her way. Okay, she does have flash. Here's Renekton.
He doesn't have his leap right now. He's stuck, and Nar can't get to him. There's the body slam. Ward goes down. Keen going over. The flash will be used into the leap, who does get off cooldown, and he makes it out.
Oh, for dear life, he gets his smite on that Grump. Otherwise, he certainly would have given a donation to Keen.
Oh, boy. Duel all by himself, going 1v2.
What?
And forced to flash the wall. It's getting a little bit too close to the Alistar. Didn't even have to burn flash for that play. The Alistar, I mean.
One of the reasons why Alistar isn't meta is because so much of it relies around your opponents getting out of position. His engage almost always needs flash to actually work, but everybody's just allowing him to get these plays off scot-free. And let's see how Comeback starts this off. So they jump in right away, but the minion wave is here. There's no way they can win. It's a cannon wave on the way. Oh, Lord.
Yeah, Ghost doing that a little bit too early to secure himself the kill. But at least they do get the kill in the end.
Yeah, kill is a kill. Summoners are summoners too. And now Alistar has flash and nobody on Ever's side has their own, which means...
Oh, he got nice steal there from Malrong. Looking to carry the team on his back, one blue buff at a time.
I mean, that's the kind of game we're at right now, where we're throwing out casks to go for steals.
Crazy. Yeah, he's trading here. Keen very confidently going in against that mini Gnar.
Love that control ward.
I love that spot. They never check there.
Yeah, always works in Celican, then nobody even goes there, and then you wonder, man, should I have even bought a control ward?
Yeah, it's good because it survives for a very long time, but you only scout really that one path from the Raptors towards mid.
Some action top as Gragas makes his way over, and Crazy's going to lose his Mega Gnar soon.
Yeah, in comes Gragas. He is knocked into the wall, but there's Dominus and Crazy in a ton of trouble. There is the flash body slam. Malrong, much as in the way that he played that Elise in that one series, he's trying to make so many ganks work across the map and get his laners ahead. In comes the TP now from Keen. Trying to get onto Ghost here, but it looks like they will settle for Totoro, deciding that both Comeback and Duel are just too low and they won't go in.
So the gank they get top now yields a disadvantage for Keen because he TP's bottom with no net gain. Renekton still hasn't phased, so now Crazy, it's as if he never died. Oh my man, what are they doing? Okay, at least Twitch has a big CS lead and they still have flash on Totoro, which by the way could have likely gone for a flash pulverize to actually secure a kill onto either Comeback or Duel. So just happy to get that teleport, I suppose. And now Kalista is going to lane top against Gnar. We got ourselves a Renekton Rakan lane. You know, don't see that one too often, but it will soon be a union that just doesn't last long. I think Rakan realizes that his love is not crocodiles.
She's on a different map of Summoner's Rift. Not on this one, unfortunately.
I mean, it's a swap, but it's so telegraphed because Kalista went to lane solo.
Yeah.
So it just means that now they're going to lose topside instead of bottom.
Yeah. I mean, immediately Ghost and Totoro go up top. And okay. They're deciding against it as Rakan is going mid for now. I mean, Renekton is still bot. Keen hasn't moved from that spot. Maybe looking for a play, a little gank onto Tempt here, but he has read it. No flash on Malrong for the engage. He will flash away, but there's the grand entrance into the body slam and shockwave, and that should be the kill going over to Septed.
It's so greedy from Tempt, knowing everybody was MIA, does not respect the move, and now Bless will be finding Keen face checking him.
Yeah, just forced to leap away. And that should be the first turret going over to Ever8 in this situation. Tempt playing a little bit too far forward and no chance at defense here for BBQ.
All he had to do was everything that he didn't do. He saw the ward get yeah, you got it? Yeah.
Yeah.
See? So he placed the ward topside and they know that the dual lane is missing, and especially because they don't want to lane against Twitch Alistar right now. They don't have sums. So he just got so greedy going for that extra harass. You're not doing anything to Septed at this point, so understandably so. He ends up paying with his life, and they lose tier 1 mid from just so a poor positioning, poor decision, just broke.
Okay, and here's that dive underneath the turret. That's going to be an easy kill pickup for Ghost. And, I mean, that's what you were saying. The flash was about to come up. He did heal, but
throw the analysis out the window.
You want to join play-by-play with me?
I guess. Well, that's all.
You want
to
practice your play-by-play during this series?
There's only plays here.
The never before seen double play-by-play cast. It's probably been done before.
I'm just trying to wrap my head around the why behind so many of these decisions. And you find one string of, okay, I can kind of see it, and then it just goes haywire.
Uh-oh, Totoro. They don't really see him, but look at Tempt. He's going to be shockwaved and the engage from comeback. They're really looking for that kill, but Septed incredibly low on the backside. Bless is going to pick up that trade kill, going 1 for 1.
The reason why so many of these things are so bizarre is because almost none of them are actually around objectives. These fights are just fights to fight. They just want
like solo kill?
Yeah, they just want to kill each other.
They're just going for it. Any semblance of strategy out the window. 1v1 now. Bless jumping in. Malrang out of mana, but Bless still will back off.
Gragas is too tanky right now. 3-0-1. Tabi's in completed jungle item. Make him a true threat on top of having Smite like he could have used on that Raptor camp had Bless chosen to continue that chase, so wisely so does he retreat.
It's only Duel up here in top. Just come back to go back. Duel not going to attempt the 1v2 this time around. Decides better of it this time.
Okay, so they're fighting. There's vision, but they see what's going on, and they know that mid lane is under control from Septed. So, I mean, they know they're looking for a fight because Totoro is waiting in the pixel brush. He wouldn't be waiting if you're not looking to pick somebody off. But they didn't even have they didn't have any proper vision or control of lanes before they did that. Ghost might be fancying a 1v2.
He does have red buff.
Completed Bork too.
It's not out of the question. They may have tried that.
So I want to criticize mid Karma in general. Right now, you build, it's a cheap build. You can go with the, I think it's Holy Grail, Sensor as well. Cheaper. Mercury Treads make her effective, but it's a champion that has 1 damage ability. Tether barely counts as damage. That's like saying Hook from Thresh is a damage ability. So,
I mean, it is, technically.
Yeah, nearly every ability is a damage ability.
We're not going to get too deep here on the broadcast.
So you're picking this champion that is built for lane, and you take Teleport for the lane. Oh, no.
This is your chance to play-by-play, Crumbs.
Oh, take it over. You got this. Excite me.
Please, no, you take it.
But okay, so Karma mid. Yeah, we can look at this and nothing's gonna happen because we know the way that these guys are playing. But the champion, when you take Teleport, you want to go for the laning phase, and then, you know, I was talking to even Papa about it, and it's like, oh, I like the Karma to match the pressure of a split pusher, such as LeBlanc, an AP split pusher, because per itemization, being magic resistant is super easy to deal with these AP threats. But right now, the meta, there's not many AP champions going into the side lanes. We see Cassin every once in a while, but they jump Gragas.
Okay, Gragas in a lot of trouble, but nice play here from Comeback. The huge combo as Septic comes on in. Ever8, they're looking for this game. That's a double kill going over to Septic. Keen trying to make it even more interesting. The triple kill this time going over to Septed, and that should be an easy follow-up on the Rift Herald.
And guess what? They're fighting to fight once again. They see Gragas. They decided we must kill Gragas. They had no business in the mid lane, and Septic collapses faster and ends up cleaning house. That's now a fed Orianna. 4-1-1, completed Morellonomicons, and she's going to have a Luden really early on, and there's nobody on the side of BBQ that can truly deal with her. And here we go again. Watch the minimap. Look at where Karma is, and look at where Orianna. They're taking this fight. What?
See Gragas, kill Gragas.
Why would you do this? They even blow Teleport to try to go onto this. They have no vision around Herald to even think about taking this battle. Of course they're going to lose it.
Yeah, I mean, as you can see, in hindsight is 20/20, especially for us.
I mean, if you're looking backwards, then everything looks just like a right move in hindsight. I don't even know. I'm losing it, man. This is so. Oh, what? Like, why would you take? So Karma. So you take teleport, but then she can't match the side lanes. Her ability to teleport into fights is not there.
Well, she can flash away from the Gragas.
Note how many times Karma ends up using her teleport effectively from now on. People usually save it to try to make some sort of miracle play, but in reality, that never happens. It's a pipe dream.
Do you think she should take some other summoner then?
Yes, but I also think we should be staying away from Karma mid. Only under incredibly specific circumstances is Karma mid, I think, as viable as we make it out to be. So many games of Karma mid are won before the game turns into a 5v5 scenario that it might seem that the champion isn't really effective. But remember, it got nerfed. It's been switched more and more towards a supportive style role. And now even more so that she's got Ardent Sensor and the Holy Grail completed. She just relies on Twitch getting far ahead. So if you're relying on your side lanes to get ahead, why not pick a champion that can influence that a little bit better?
Yeah, I mean, we've been seeing, you were talking about the 1 damage abilities. Some of these players, especially guys like Crown, they've just been building full AP instead. And they just say, okay, we're just going to have this 1 nuke, and that's about it. We're going to Mantra Q you and chunk you down. Your squishies are going to have about half health, and that's what makes Karma good in these team fights. But
I see it as wasted potential. You got so many great mid laners here that putting them on Karma seems like a lackluster champion for them to shine in.
Well, I mean, she does a decent job pushing and, you know, holding off those pushes. So the Korean mid laner is always liking that kind of play. I just wonder what you would take instead. Because, you know, we have Talia, Syndra banned out all the time. And hold that thought. Crazy is going to go Mega Gnar here. He lands that slow and will be forced to flash. The second one here is Keen, getting a little bit too far forward and not respecting that Gnar.
And this is Gragas going for a 1v3 invade, but mid lane was pushed in and so is top. Here comes Karma. Wow. No.
Oh boy. Come back. Nice little play there to get out of danger. But yeah, I mean, Talia, Syndra banned out all the time. You see Orianna a lot. Sometimes Victor. Galio, of course.
Corki's better. Well, Corki, I think there's still a debate as to how meta he is. If you truly want to help your side lanes out and have some decent pressure in mid lane, at least to an extent, you can go Corki and make some plays happen around package. And while it's unlikely to yield an objective or kills if people play it well because package is incredibly telegraphed, then you likely can just make people back off from a tower. Imagine that game 1. Had that dive been utilized, had been executed properly, package layered on top of the pulverize immediately, we could have seen a completely different game 1.
Yeah, and Corki does offer that nuking potential. Probably a lot less utility in general. You know, less shielding, stuff like that when you do compare it to the Karma, but bigger damage threat overall.
And also Karma doesn't translate that well into the late game. With 1 damage ability, if you build her nuke, it's 1 ability, and if you build her utility, she's full utility. And when you have front lines in a 5v5 that can soak that initial damage, your engagers might be able to hit the backline, but without the main damage threat there, then you're stuck just waiting for your cooldown again. Also, there's Victor. Get done, Victor. Has at least better wave clear.
We don't see Aurelion Sol all that much. Just some key members of LCK. They were playing it a little bit in spring.
I believe Septid tried his hand at Aurelion Sol this split. Yeah. But I think mostly it's Huhi from CLG. So on a completely different note, I had chicken's feet yesterday. I ate it.
Oh, how was it? Did you have it with bone or without bone?
Without bone.
Okay.
It was served with a bed of rice with seaweed, sesame seed, and some caviar. I think not caviar, salmon roe.
Uh-huh.
It was odd. I thought the texture was a bit bizarre.
It has a lot of cartilage, right?
Yeah, it's cartilage heavy, but the flavor was actually pretty good. I would eat it again.
Was it really spicy, or did they give you just normal?
It was spicy. I have a really high spice tolerance, so I don't get fazed by it. So I just ate it nonstop. Yeah, I trained myself in the finest of Indian restaurants.
Yeah, chicken's feet, definitely one of the more spicy dishes of Korean cuisine for you guys who are curious. Definitely have the potential to make it extremely spicy.
Why did they do that?
I don't know. I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy. I had it once too. It was weird. You know, I'm not the biggest
experimental eater.
Yeah. I like to go with my basic stuff. Give me some pasta.
Oh god. Oh no.
But I did have chicken's feet. It was okay. It was yeah, very cartilage heavy.
Yeah.
Well, I wasn't a huge fan. And it was pretty spicy, which made it pretty hard to eat after all.
Well, I think we've had the discussion before. Being able to eat everything that a foreign culture eats is typically seen as a one-way ticket into receiving a warm welcome from that culture. So I typically like to eat anything and everything to be traveling worldwide and try as many different foods as possible and to experience the full extent of a Korean lifestyle.
You definitely gain a lot of respect if you can eat the spicy chicken's feet, that's for sure. Well, they're going in here looking for the stun onto Crazy. A nice knockback, though, from Crazy, ulting them away, saying, no, get out of my house. Meanwhile, BBQ just going to pick up the easy top turret. Although it looks like that bot turret should go down to Ever at the same time.
Don't you dare start Baron here. Okay, good. So it's a 1-for-1 trade, but now Twitch gets some free farm, and he's already 50 CS up on Duel. And while he's stuck farming into the mid lane, there are no teleports for wards for Keen to go in here. So this push is unlikely to be met with a battle, although Gragas certainly doesn't think so.
Incepted's making his way up too. Double teleport from BBQ saying, okay, you want to fight? We'll give you a fight. And then backing off.
Oh, man.
Double cancel.
He could have just, waited for them to commit before that ends up happening. Actually, they had that control ward really far back that they could have utilized.
Yeah, kind of a weak play, but they do get out of harm's way at the end of it all here. Do have an early QSS pickup from the Twitch from Ghost. Not just going to be spamming damage this game. Wants to make sure he can get out of all of the CC that Ever8 does have.
I mean, sure. You're going to get hit by the Charm, maybe Gragas, but you shouldn't get in range of Gragas. You should definitely not be in range of Renekton. Especially when you have Inspire from Carmen and Alistar to frontline for you. So I think in the position that BBQ is in, Ghost should have actually itemized more damage right now. He's finally able to complete the Hurricane. However, he might have been able to have more items nearing towards that Infinity Edge, which against the squishies of Kalista, Rakan, and Orianna definitely could have made for an explosive fight that is exactly what BBQ needs to get back into this game. Not to say that they're not in, as it's only a 2,000 gold advantage on the side of Ever.
Yeah, I mean, you essentially are going to be relying on Ghost in the backline to be doing the majority of your damage. A nuke out of Tempt and basically just mainly engage out of Crazy. Does have the Black Cleaver to make the the damage out of Twitch even better.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Bless has a Black Cleaver as well.
But you can forget about Kha'Zix being a main damage dealer. His damage comes from that isolation, and there's no chance he's going to actually get those resets, even though he doesn't have the Evolve Leap just yet. But for somebody to get so far out that he can just pounce on them, and here's a 5-man.
Okay, they're going for the Alistar, who gets a double knock-up here. In comes the teleport, the quickness, getting a double charm here, and a double knock-up on Attempt and Bless. No follow-up, though. Nobody's in position to put down any damage, and nobody on BBQ dies.
Just testing the waters out, see what happens. But the teleport did come through from Keenan. They got two crucial flashes. Kalista and Orianna did burn theirs, and Totora still has his. And now Ever is poised with the decision of what to do in the next 5 minutes. They are going to have to think about this Baron, as now that they don't have flashes, and they are going to start it.
Meanwhile, Cloud Drake being taken by Crazy. Does have his TP. No commitment just yet. BBQ still not even 100% about this. Now they should have some idea this is going down. Jumping the wall here is Keen, and that's just going to go down to the Rens. Duel taking that, but at least BBQ gets a Cloud Drake.
Cloud Drake. There you go. All right. Sweet.
Now they can run really fast.
Nobody was on the map, and oh boy. What? Like, okay. The reason you should know why they're doing Baron is because the second that they blew those summoners, it means that if a fight is to happen again, where both teams are 5v5, which is the stage that we're in, it would allow the setup of BBQ to pounce onto the carries, and therefore the chance of them winning a fight would go up exponentially because of the setup. Now after the fight disengages and you don't give them a chance to set up properly, aka going for that Baron right away, you can fight on your terms. And now just, okay, redemption doesn't kill war. It's like, what? Why is that? Why? Okay, so they stay pushing mid and give up a free Baron.
Many questions have been asked, not many answered here in this series. Seemingly just lots of mistakes, so it's hard to expect the very tippy-top play out of, you know, number 8, or rather number 9 and number 10 here.
Well, it was a good move by Ever, however, to start that Baron. That was definitely a heads-up move by them, so kudos for going for that one.
Totoro looking for the engage, daring them to stay, but then losing half his health.
Well, Ever can feel safe pushing forward and getting some turret damage anytime that Ghost is up. So ambush is so important in them deciding whether they push or not. So the second he leaves the map, looks like they're going to go into Crazy on Keen, but he does have Flash. This is just too obvious.
Yeah, hard to make this work. Borg does come out, and Crazy is on the chase with that Frozen Mallet, but again, they can't get the kill, and a huge engage at the same time. They're not going to get temped. The Shockwave does miss. In the meantime, Comeback getting a little bit too deep here, is going to be chased and slowed down and taken out, and somehow, some way, Ever8 can botch the dive. And coming here from the mid lane is Ghost, looking to catch all these guys out, but decides to turn on to Keen, in fact, who still does have his flash, will attempt to flash away, but in a ton of danger here. There's a slice and dice, and the flash here from Crazy is going to go for that kill. Dominus coming out here looking for that cooldown to try to dash away again, but it will not come up, and BBQ will secure another kill.
That dive was so botched. They used so many abilities but didn't combo any of them together. Shockwave completely missed, and they had no chance of really losing that. There was no serious damage threat. Karma was immediately CC'd, and only Kha'Zix Shockwave gets used for wave clear. They can just tank this one right now.
Well, do have to be careful as Malron coming in here. Can engage, does have everything available to him. Cask about to come off cooldown, so they will respect it and back off, but they've delayed a lot of time for this Baron. They're definitely still very competitive in this game.
I want to see exactly what happened on that dive, because that should have been Ever's window into BBQ's base. Now they catch Bless, but he's just seeing his blue buff get taken away. No chance of getting it back.
Yeah, so they got the Baron and they got one turret, essentially. And here is the replay.
All right, let's take a look. So Cass gets used at the same time as the ultimate, at the same time as Shockwave. And immediately the headbutt, it gets used as a counter response. And Orianna has to tank her, so she has to back off. The carries are already just so far out of position. This is exactly, you know how you can avoid this exact same play? Here's how you do it. You say, all right, guys, let's go for a dive. Okay, who's going to start the dive? Say, oh, Gragas. I will start the dive. And then you let Gragas do it, and then everybody else follows through. Instead of, let's dive, and then everybody goes in at the same time, and then every ability ends up whiffing.
It was like one flash from Tempt, basically dodged both the Grand Entrance and the Shockwave, and he wasn't put close enough to his team with the cask.
Because it was used at the same time as the flash engage from comeback.
Yeah. So, communication issues, definitely part of the reason they've had some trouble here in LCK.
Well, it's a young team, but so many, you know, for how long can we just say it's a young team? It's a young team, right? This is their first split in here, but these are issues that can be at least addressed to an extent that they're not as visible as they are today.
Yeah. It's always cool to see some of those younger teams or teams that aren't doing well come into fruition and actually start to play very well. I mean, just saw Jin Air yesterday 2-0ing Samsung and looking really pristine in their play.
Oh, that was some sublime League of Legends on their side. I'm so excited for Jin Air, really. I think that's the one team that I can truly get my hopes up. Not KT, not anymore.
Yeah, no. I'm still on that Longju boat. I really liking Longju as a team. I like the personalities they've got on their side. The Con-Cuz combo, BDD with the ridiculous KDA, the veteran bot lane. Definitely one of my favorite teams.
They definitely have a lot to write home about.
But, I mean, talking about Jin Air, as I said earlier on, you know, this BBQ Ever8 matchup, this is basically what Jin Air Kongdu was last split. So they've come so far.
That's all right. Jesus. So it's the flame.
Well, I mean, it's the reality of the situation, where those guys were in terms of their records. And Jin Air, they've made gigantic strides in the course of half a year. Very admirable. So we're having a fight over the Ocean Drake here.
Yeah, beautiful timing to decide for this battle when Baron comes up in 20 seconds. Complete sarcasm, by the way. This dragon is meaningless.
I mean, it will just give position here to Ever8 to push into mid, but they're gonna not take it.
They have complete inside track onto the Baron side. They should just be going to Baron. They have Kalista. If they get a couple of seconds of work onto Baron, they can secure it with Ren, but they're waiting for BBQ to check for Ocean, and they realize, hey, wait a minute, it's just Ocean Dragon. What do we care about it?
Okay, coming from the right side, immediate disengage. Keen is going in, looking for that engage. Come back from the left side, and there's a big shockwave, but look at that huge shield from everybody on the side of BBQ. Ghost is so low, but he's kiting on the left side. Finally, he gets taken out here. So low. Crazy will have his GA pop. Stutero in a ton of trouble. That's going to be 3 kills going over to the side of Ever8.
That was a fantastic shockwave from Septed, getting Ghost and Tempt at the same time, and they were able to turn the tide of the fight, and Malrang didn't even have to burn his flash to get that engagement. It was all Keen and Septed going in for that one, and it just looked beautiful the way that they eliminated Twitch. Bless going to try to hit the wave, but no chance about it. They could even tank it.
Yeah, they're just coming on in here. Should be at least an inhibitor. Not super late in this game. The timers aren't out of control just yet. Only 35 minutes in. Bless thinking about trying his luck on the Ocean Drake. Oh yeah.
That's all you can go for at this point. Don't bother going for a steal. You have Kalista on the other side of the map, but the fight starts out and Keen trying to get a stun on here. He finally gets it with a flash, but the quickness for Khan going in at the same time as Keen, and the cask actually ends up separating Ghost from the fight, so the backline of Ever is capable of dealing immense damage without worrying about anybody dying on their side, while their own front line handles the Twitch. So it's a well-played fight on the side of Ever. The issue is how the fight, or why the fight ended up happening, and it was because these teams were fighting over Ocean Dragon as opposed to Baron. And that is where the fundamental issues lie in this game. Decision making.
Well, Ever8, they do have the Baron once again. Let's see if they can have a little bit better luck this time around. I think with the mid lane pushing in, will definitely make things a bit easier.
Especially because now Malrang has his flash. You don't have anybody else to disjoint that engage if he's the only one that can go for it. So the communication improves by lowering the amount of tools that you have available. If he can just combo well with a Shockwave, then it should all be over for Ghost's life. However, he does have 4 items now, and that's a Twitch that you have to respect. But now Kalista at least has a Guardian Angel to protect herself.
Looks like the push will come in the bottom lane from 4 members. Just going to throw Keen up in top lane up against Crazy. Gold difference beginning to get larger and larger on the side of Ever8. Now about 7,000 gold ahead, 7.5. And it looks like pretty much all summoners, almost all. Comeback doesn't have a splash, but also all ultimate abilities are available.
They do not step up when Twitch is off the map.
Okay, poking at this turret now. You can see just how crazy this front line is with Malrang and Comeback with the threat of this very fed Orianna to get those shockwaves down.
Turret will easily go down on this next wave, and they're in no position to defend this inhibitor, so just another free one going Ever's way.
Looking to pull the SKT where they come back from 2 inhibitors down.
Well, they seemingly have been reading SKT's playbook as they tried their hands at that triple carry composition that SKT did against BBQ themselves in earlier this split. However, it's SKT. There's not any other team in the world that can actually play the comp and play the style that SKT does and pull it off to the T that they do.
Ever8 pushing in now. Looking to take us to a game number 3. Look at that damage onto Crazy. I mean, he just has half of his life disappear before his eyes.
These engages are not going to go BBQ's way if they don't have a flank for Alistar or Gnar. There's no way that this can work. You're fighting in a straight line against Kalista, Ori, and Gragas.
Well, here comes the push. Crazy looking to make a engage now. They do not want to give up this last inhibitor. Crazy doesn't really find the angle though. And his Mega Gnar has popped. Totoro thinking about it, really just trying to push them away from that inhibitor. But look at the push in mid lane. Running out of time. Septa taking a bit of damage here. Ghost in the back line, trying to poke these guys away. But Redemption is going to bring everybody back to full health, and that should be this 3rd inhibitor falling down. They're taking it very carefully. You can see the amount of damage that Keen has taken. Crazy really picking away at him. But the cannon minions will take down that inhibitor.
Note the way that Ever played around the cooldowns from BBQ. The second Mega Gnar came up, they just did not go for any damage onto the inhibitor. Just back up, wait for Mega Gnar to come back to fade away. The second he was Mini Gnar, they felt safer moving up. However, they did overstep, and Mini Gnar did chunk out the Renekton, but the Baroned up minions were able to finish the last remaining HP on that inhibitor. Now they're sitting at a completely exposed base, which one of the easiest positions to close out on.
Seems like the push will come into mid. We got Elder Drake spawning in about 1.5 minutes.
Oh no, don't make us wait for this one, Ever. The waves are almost at the base already, so they definitely don't need that dragon. But Twitch does have 4 items. He's going to be aiming for Septa, the one target that doesn't have a single armor item.
There still is an opportunity. Look at Ghost up in the top left. Looking to make a play, but they do spot him with that scanner. And there's the knockup, immediate QSS. Fate's Call coming on in, looking to jump him into the Ghost, and Ghost all the way on the left side, but out comes the spray and pray, but there's the Shockwave, gonna get him extremely low, and that is what is going to take him out at the end of it all. Double kill goes over to Duel, and after losing Ghost, there's basically no damage here on the side of BBQ.
Yeah, they can't deal with Kalista. This should definitely be the final push for the game. All right, there it is, no dragon.
Okay, we got a flash ultimate here from Crazy, trying to make it interesting. They do take out Septid, but Keen with Malrang, they are fed enough to take out that very squishy Temps. That's going to be the second Nexus turret going down, and blue side going to win again. We will be forced into a game number 3 as Ever8 does take game number 2.
That was just poor vision from the side of BBQ in order to get an engage. Look at that Karma to P. What did I tell you? Look for Karma using that teleport wisely anytime during House. The mid-game just never ended up happening. And because the wards weren't there for anybody on BBQ to have any vision, to even go for any flanks, they never even attempted. Never even had to clear any vision, and as such, the angle that Ghost has to come from gets scouted out by comeback right away. One radar ruined the potential for a great engage on the side of BBQ.
Yeah, so mistakes abound for both of these guys. Ever8 finally grabbing a win here. Malrong seeming pretty happy. His Gragas performance was pretty nice in the first half of this game specifically. Really opened up the top side of the map against that Gnar for Keen.
And just picking on Crazy, making the Renekton work. Having him get ahead early means that now you have a BP frontline that can create so much space for your Kalista to do work, and he just kept flashing into the Twitch. They threw everything at him, and here's Crazy there, wondering, maybe I should have warded? Oh, wait, I did ward.
Wait, I did see him coming. Okay. Well, BBQ will have blue side for the next game. And they looked a lot better on that side, that's for sure.
But they had both teams have had a pretty solid draft on blue side. Here's that first gank that led to that first blood. There was not a whole lot of opportunity here for him to outplay it. That was on a Gragas that was in vision, and here's another just bizarre engage that ends up going, this one goes BBQ's way, so it gives some advantages to Twitch, but that's with a minion wave coming. You have 7 minions on to come back at the same time, so a poor choice of engage, and what was the story of this game? Poor engages from both teams, and it was just a matter of which team could capitalize more, and it just so happened that in this fight, had to capitalize with a triple kill for an Orianna, which was disastrous because now that Orianna got so fed, it enhanced the power that these tanks have. As the second they jumped the back line, the combo with the shockwave was huge. And another botched engage. Execution, not the forte for both these teams tonight.
Yeah, that was the one moment where we were thinking, hey, BBQ could actually make a comeback into this one. And they do pick up Keen on the back of this play too, after a long chase into the mid lane.
Yeah, the first time around, the Boomerang actually got intercepted by a minion, and this time around he sees it. Flash, Frozen Mallet Flash was all it took to keep him locked down so that Twitch could pick him up.
So they don't show the end of the game, but this is how it did end. All the Drakes going over to BBQ, but does not matter at the end of it all. Just pretty even in kills, but Ever8 do take the win. And the most damage in the game going over to Gnar. Doing a lot of harass damage throughout, no doubt.
Harassing Renekton definitely stacks up your damage charts, but no chart is going to be able to tell the story of this game. It all needs to be watched, and some might argue otherwise.
Okay, guys, we're going to go to another about 8 or 9 minute break. When we come back, game number 3 to finish out the series between BBQ and Ever8.